Las Vegas homes for sale have experienced an unprecedented surge in prices in the last couple of years. And you can imagine the pretty significant barrier that it's making for prospective homebuyers. If you zoom out even more, you'll see how the Las Vegas housing market is indicative of the state of the U.S. housing market in general, Check this out.
Let us turn to the housing market. October existing home sales have now fallen to the lowest level. You have to go all the way back to August of 2010. The National Realtors Association reported 3.79 million existing homes were listed for sale in October. That's down 4.1% month over month. But Morgan Stanley's new housing forecast claims that for homeowners who can wait, relief may be coming, with the investment firm expecting prices to fall 3% by the end of next year. And when we say homeowners, we mean would-be homeowners or homeowners who want to sell and then move into a different home. But what does this mean now with mortgage rates still above 7% and the housing supply so incredibly tight?
That's why personally, if I were looking to buy a house right now, I'd consider my options. Some people, they're waiting patiently for the market to turn, and they aren't just being persuaded by random TikTok gurus trying to influence buyers. You know what I mean? So yeah. Let's talk about the U.S. housing market today and why we could potentially see housing prices decrease next year, starting with Sin City, Las Vegas. Now, if you've been following the housing market in Las Vegas, you would know that the housing prices have reached new highs over the last year, driven by a multitude of factors like low inventory, lower cost of living, and buyers from various regions. More recently, housing prices in the Las Vegas Valley showed a slight increase in October, although fewer homes were sold. Figures released by Las Vegas Realtors show that the median price for existing single-family homes sold in Southern Nevada in October was $449,000. The price is 2% from $440,000 in October of 2022. However, local home prices are still below the all-time record high of $482,000 set in May of 2022. The median price of local condos and townhomes sold in October was $275,500, which is actually up 3.6% from $266,000 in October of 2022. Not surprisingly, a tight housing supply and recent rising mortgage interest rates are still influencing the housing market and may be overshadowing seasonal trends. We usually see home prices and sales cool down a bit along with the weather as we head into the fall and winter, but we'll see how these traditional trends play out this year. As experts pointed out, higher interest rates and smaller housing supply are playing a bigger role than in past years. By the end of October, the report said that there were 4,213 single-family homes listed for sale without any sort of offer, which is down 46.7% from the same time last year. Likewise, the 1,195 condos and townhomes listed without offers in October represent a 32.7% decline from 1 year earlier. A total of 2,173 existing local homes, condos, and townhomes were sold in October. Compared to October 2022, sales were down 1.5% for homes, but they were up 1.3% for condos and townhomes. The sales pace in October equates to a more than 2-month supply of properties available for sale. Last year at this time, Southern Nevada had more than a 4-month housing supply. So, as you can imagine, the scarcity of homes has led to this intense competition, which in turn resulted in Las Vegas homes for sale being priced at levels that are just becoming more and more unaffordable for a lot of potential home buyers. But let's see, guys, because some media outlets are reporting an increasing number of home buyers backing out and canceling their home purchase contracts in recent months. This as interest rates just keep rising and housing costs staying at record highs. Then you have what's happening around the world. A lot of financial and economic uncertainty and possibly an inevitable looming recession that could all put downward pressure on home prices. We're going to talk more about this later in this video as housing forecasts are actually predicting prices as we move into 2024 and beyond. Hence the option to wait for things to cool down, especially if you're looking at high demand housing markets like Las Vegas. Honestly, guys, inflation just feels like it's completely out of control. You notice how even more and more places are asking for tips these days? Self-pumping gas stations even? Yeah, guys, I don't know if it's just me. I feel that if you're picking up an item, whether it's food, pants, hardware, I shouldn't have to tip. If you're getting served like in a restaurant, that deserves a tip. If I go buy a shirt at the mall, I don't tip. If I buy coffee at a Starbucks, I also don't tip. It's appropriate if you get seated, a server takes your order, brings you your food, and gives you service while you're eating there. I noticed that many of the takeout windows have the tipping option when paying by credit card. I've become so used to just ignoring it and thinking about places like Japan, where the culture has always been no tipping and excellent service included. But what about you guys? How do you feel about tipping requests these days, especially at digital kiosks and checkouts? I would love to hear from you guys. And while you guys are at it, why not make it official? Hit the subscribe button and turn on that notification bell. That way you don't miss out on any future updates like this one. And speaking of, I just want to thank you guys so much for always lighting up the like button. I really appreciate that. It sometimes feels as if the US housing market is in a never-ending affordability crisis, with prices continuously rising and inventory shrinking. The reasons have ranged from anemic construction to student loan debt to investors buying up starter homes. But even as the pandemic pushed values up faster than ever, cheap mortgages have kept buyers in the game. Now, a whole new affordability crisis is beginning, and this time, there's no obvious way out. The US Federal Reserve has been making borrowing more expensive, especially for home loans. The interest rate on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is now close to 8%, the highest it's been in about 25 years. This means that if you have a $400,000 loan, your monthly mortgage payment could increase by about $1,100. But really, the bigger problem is that even if interest rates go up, people who already have low-interest mortgages are holding on to them. This is making it harder for others to be able to buy homes, and the housing market is becoming even less affordable. In fact, it's the least affordable that it's been since the 1980s, and home sales are close to hitting record lows. It's partly the stubbornly strong economy that's making mortgages stay expensive for a long time. Even if loans become a bit cheaper, more people wanting to buy homes could make prices go up even higher. If the economy gets worse, it might bring mortgage rates down, but it would also make it harder for people to buy homes. Builders are having trouble finding enough workers, land, and materials to build homes. Like the experts say, it's like we fired all the bullets we have on housing affordability, and it's going to take a long time to build our way back out of it. This is causing a huge problem in America because younger people are finding it difficult to buy homes, and it's putting a severe strain on our society. Some home buyers I know, they've opted to buy smaller homes or a condo. That way you're on the property ladder if prices surprise and move higher, but you will also lose less in real dollar terms if they fall. And since they had enough income and down payment for a larger home, they could bank the rest in T-bills, or put most of it down on the condo and bank the monthly savings. That way they'll be ready to pounce if prices come down. No one has a crystal ball, and there's no guarantee prices will come down. So this is a pretty interesting way to approach it, hedging against going all in or all out, you know? So yeah, I think we've established at this point the housing market is really expensive. Affordability is the worst that it's been since the 1980s, and that has a lot to do with mortgage rates that have reached slightly above 8% following years of historically low interest rates and home prices that have skyrocketed during the pandemic-fueled housing boom. But Morgan Stanley has a 2024 outlook that could be welcomed by homebuyers. For them, we could be poised for an improvement in affordability that we've only seen a handful of times over the last 35 years. Now, there are a lot of ifs here, especially since the investment bank is still only forecasting a 3% drop in nationwide home prices through next year. The combination of other factors is definitely crucial. Namely, Morgan Stanley strategists see relief primarily coming from inventory, which has been tight in recent months to say the least, and from interest rates. They see mortgage rates coming down throughout next year, and with that, they expect affordability to improve and for sale inventory to increase. In simpler terms, when mortgage rates go down, more new homes and existing homes are likely to be sold, and there will be more construction of single-family homes. This might lead to a small drop in home prices next year because there will be more homes available, balancing out higher demand. But the prices will still decrease more when you consider inflation-adjusted values as mortgage rates decrease. They expect that new homes will sell better than existing homes, leading to more construction of single-family homes by about 10% next year. As for home prices, the expected drop won't be all that big. So homeowners will still have a strong position in the housing market. It might help potential buyers just a little bit, but it's part of a larger push and pull between homeowners and those who are having a hard time affording homes. You know what I mean? Then again, if mortgage rates stay high and the economic climate becomes more awful in the case of a recession, demand could soften. Increased supply coupled with weakened demand could drive home prices down. Morgan Stanley's bear case, or the worst case scenario for home prices, -8%. And you know these percentages may sound small, but when you're talking about home prices, that could definitely mean a lot. All right, guys? So what do you think? Are you waiting out the markets? Let me know where you guys are at home buying wise. We can definitely pick this up in another video. I'll see you guys on the next one.